Hello, homeschool moms, and welcome to a new edition of the Homeschool Well podcast. It's Kim and Jenny here today with you.
Hey there.
We are officially in the beginning Christmas season, and we hope that it has been wonderful for you. And we appreciate being able to take a break last week, but we are back at it now for the month of December. We'll have new episodes each week, and we're going to zero in all month about having rich learning experiences that are abundant in December, especially if you have kids that are struggling with any topics or they're struggling learners in general. You have kids that are neurodivergent, that have unique abilities. Any kiddo who is just distracted by December, right?
Yes,
Isn't
I
that
have
all
my
of
hand
us?
up.
I
Yes.
know. And if you, mom, are distracted by December, we're talking about the rich learning experiences that are part of this just focus of Jesus's birthday, right? That's what Christmas is about.
Right.
It's okay to give yourself a break from like hitting the traditional books and taking a break from your schedule is especially if it's burdened by all the amazing things that go on in December, because they are amazing experiences that you want to be able to soak in like a relaxing way.
Yes.
We want to reassure you that they are also educationally beneficial in so many ways, but especially spiritual when you're centering it about Jesus's birth and scripture and all the things with that.
And we have a lot of moms that we talk to that say, especially this time of year, that they are like failing at being consistent. And I think that's kind of how we all feel. Like you cannot add all these extra things this time of year without having to take some things away. You're baking cookies and wrapping presents and things have to go. Other things have to go because there are literally only 24 hours in a day. I have felt this way for sure. Like I felt like I needed to keep working, homeschooling and keep going and pounding at it. But also we just recently had a mom who reached out to us and said, "Oh, we're having such a great holiday. This is our plan this year for December."
Yeah, this is feedback from the last episode that we did about
Right.
taking a break and
Taking a
not.
break.
Yep, and not feeling like you have to focus on your curriculum. And she gave us feedback right after she listened to the episode. It's so great. You read
Right.
what she said because
Here,
it's so
this is
good.
what she said. This is part of her email. She said, "You guys suggested that I should rest a year ago, and I refused, insisting I needed to keep going with the reading and the math, especially the reading, since her child was struggling in that subject, and she didn't want to lose ground." And she said, God has definitely shown her that that did not work. In fact, like she was pretty burnt out during the holidays, and she also has to work more in her job. And so she just said, I refused to take a break, and we just crashed and burned. It wasn't good. So this year, like Kim said, after our last email that we just sent out, she responded and said, I am taking a break this year, and we've already
Yay.
started, and it's going amazing. So just,
I love her words. She's such a great writer. I have to read this
oh,
sentence.
yeah.
It says, so God used this podcast to make it very clear, quote, "You're done," is what God said to her. Just take
Right.
the rest of the year to lie fallow. I love that,
I
right?
know.
Like
I was like,
farmers
I don't
every
really know
seven
what that
years.
means.
Well, it's like the farmer harvests, right? Every seventh year
Nice.
you're supposed to take a break, right? So
Okay.
she's saying God told her. So she says they're doing 5 weeks of Sabbath from English and math,
Hmm.
and still doing some audiobooks and some things that center around what they're studying about the 25 days before Christmas. This book, I guess I don't know why Jenny and I don't know this book, but
I know. I need
she
to look
suggests
into
it
it.
highly. Yeah, The 25 Days Before Christmas by Madeline Langell.
Mhm.
And she said it's lovely. And there's little
Mhm.
daily surprises that they do. And so they're trying to weave those in as well.
We wanted to share this with you because we want
Yeah.
you to be encouraged that you do not need to keep cracking the whip the whole time during
Yeah.
December. And I've done it, she's done it, you've probably done it, Kim, and
Yes. Yes.
it's miserable.
Yeah. I mean, she's even saying in here, we're using this time to heal some of the trauma I've caused him with
Yeah,
math and reading, binding up the relationship between the both of us,
right.
and to do spiritual battle against some things that they deal with.
And actually share what you thought about this too, about what he did with
Yes.
this extra space. Yeah, you were going into that.
Yeah. So because she's opened up her schedule, their schedule, she's taken away the things that felt burdensome last year. Guess what happened? The little dude came to her and said to her, quote, "Do you think I should memorize a verse each month and see what God does?" Yay. This is her
Right.
boy. How old is he? 7?
I think he's 8 or 9 now.
Still, that's
Yes, right. It
amazing,
doesn't matter.
right?
Yeah.
So she's in the middle of this break time. It didn't happen right at first, but because she's opened up space and feelings, she's working on their relationship and their feelings, and she's able to compare last year when she was jamming the reading and the math down his throat, when really he was just wanting to pay attention to all of the beauty of the Christmas season, right? Because she was weaving that in too. She said she reads that book every year, but he came up with this amazing bit to add to their curriculum about
hmm
scripture memorization. And she said her heart just soared. And so
Yeah. He wants to
it's
experiment. It's given
just
him
amazing.
space to
Mm,
say, I wonder what would happen if I memorized, a verse from the Bible every month. Wonder what God
and
would do. I mean, what a
I just
it
love
almost made me
it.
cry. It
It
was really
is.
good. I know.
I really am convicted with my own homeschooling
Yeah.
journey right now, and I just want my boy to be able to say that to me, like, what do you really think you want to learn about? Just having that margin in their schedule really opened up their ability to heal their relationship and talk more,
Yes.
and then he comes up with this beautiful idea that they are definitely focusing on. So
Yes.
we hope
Yeah.
that encourages you, and if you haven't listened to that podcast, go back and do so. It came out yesterday, December 2nd. So go back and listen to that one and just be encouraged. And today's episode is going to dial down a little bit deeper into this whole concept by focusing in on kids who might be struggling with specifically ADHD.
Mhm.
And Jenny and I have both had experience with kids who have a couple different kinds of ADHD. If you didn't know, it's not always the hyperactive kind of ADHD, but there's an inattentive, like the ADD variety. Kids who are struggling with either of those things, we have some specific ideas for you to not just help them, but to make it an exciting few weeks in December here as they're going
Right.
through all the experiences.
And it could be just kids who are wiggly too, like kids who just have a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
don't have
energy.
Right, they don't have to have an official diagnosis.
No. So one of the things especially when my kids were little, was our church did like a more solemn church service later at like 7 p.m. And when my kids
On
were
Christmas Eve.
smaller, yes, on Christmas Eve. And
Yes,
I was like, oh
Christmas
my
Eve.
gosh, there's no way we can go to that, sit through that. We did Santa in our
7
house.
PM,
Santa's
and they're
coming
like,
tonight. Yeah.
right,
We're
all they
not
wanna do is
we're
yeah.
not lighting a candle at 7 p.m. in a quiet church service. It's not happening. We'll burn the place down.
Yeah, because a lot of times on Christmas services, they don't have childcare,
Right.
and that's another thing that listen,
Yeah.
it's okay to skip out of
Yes.
that. If you need your kid to have
Yes.
childcare, don't feel
Right.
like you're
Yeah.
doing something wrong by saying no to the service if you know it's
Yeah.
just gonna be crazy for you guys to be able to
Exactly. So
sit
we
through.
ended up going to like a 4 o'clock service at a different church on Christmas Eve. And some years we wouldn't go at all. One of the things you can do if you have kids who are wiggly or, with ADHD is find either a friendly church service or experience, or just forego it altogether and do something at your house, as a family. Read Luke 2, or
I think you meant to say
what did I
kid
say?
friendly, and you said friend kidly. I loved that.
Really?
I think so.
So sorry. Wow, I didn't
No,
even
it
notice
was
I did
great.
it. Okay.
Listen, see, we're all distracted in December. It's okay.
I am.
No,
I'm
you
thinking
meant
about that 4 o'clock service I used to go
right.
to.
It was kid friendly. Yes. And now, before Christmas Eve and the weeks leading up to it, search in your community and churches for amazing experiences that your kids can have centered around the season that are very educational. One of our local churches does an amazing reenactment. The
Yeah, it's a
living
live
nativity
nativity.
experience is super cool, really educational, worth your time. It's so much of their effort at these churches goes into these productions. There might be a special play, anything like that that might be different and also budget friendly. Check your community for those things.
Yeah, it's active. Like that live nativity, like you walk around through it and you're having conversations with the characters and they're giving you things like coins or oil. Yeah. Yeah, it was really neat.
The next thing is movement based learning. We love the idea of using movement in correlation with memorizing scripture that has to do with Christmas. What a coincidence that
Mhm.
just last night I had my jump team and I do this holiday performance, jump rope team. Thank
Jump
you. We
jump
use a jump
rope.
rope, right? These kids are
Yes.
amazing. Some of them start from beginning jump rope. And listen, I have a way to teach jump rope. It's invisible jump rope. They don't even need a rope. So they can do the movement and little tricks with their arms. You can imagine that, or you can get in our community where I have a pre recorded class all about that. But part of the jump rope performance are the kids saying the scripture of the Christmas story and being able to memorize that and keep it in their heart. It's so good. So here's a few verses that we said in the performance that we think are very impactful. John 3:16 through 17, Isaiah, anything in chapter 9. We did 9, 6, and 7. And from Luke 1 and Luke 2. Those are just a couple ideas to find scripture that they can memorize, not just while they're jump roping, but while they're dancing. Maybe they make up movements that make sense, that help them learn the words. Mini trampoline, that was Jenny's speciality at her house. You had like two of those, right? At least inside. I know you had a big one outside too.
Yes. I had a big one outside, a medium one outside, and a small one inside. We were very active.
I mean, you could do it too, mom, but you are just helping them, repeat the scripture, push ups, burpees,
Yeah.
anything like that while they're memorizing the scripture
Right.
based around Jesus's birth is very impactful at this time of year and great for kids who are active. And what's the next one? Hands-on nativity
Mhm.
crafts. We have so many baby Jesus ornaments that my kids made. Oh my goodness. Because when I worked at the church, right, we volunteered in their children's ministry.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
every season,
Yeah.
I'd scroll on Pinterest. Yeah,
Yes.
go on Pinterest, find some
Yes.
nativity crafts, especially the ones that you can make with free stuff around your house. Not necessarily buy the little set, that comes with the paint. Like that's kind of vanilla. I mean, everybody's got that. Everybody has the same thing. Look up those creative ones.
Yeah, and so instead of telling the story or just having to listen to a story, like doing things with your hands while you're listening to the story of Jesus.
They could listen to the audio and they could be making their little farm
Yeah.
animals out of pom poms
Yes.
and
Right.
popsicle sticks or whatever. Just be creative and ask them too,
Oh,
because they
yeah.
might have some great ideas. Also, the stained glass
Mhm.
windows scene with the tissue paper in between the black paper. That's really cool. We
Yeah,
loved
those are
that one.
great.
But there's so many ideas
Mhm.
out there. But being able to make a nativity any way they want to while listening to the
Mhm.
scripture of that, very educational, great for active kids.
Something else we did was instead of just always listening to the story again or reading it out of the Bible, we would watch videos or movies that tell the story of Jesus's birth. One of them for us was, I think it's called The Nativity, and it's a movie. Do you remember that? It came out a long time ago. Not a cartoon. It was like real life. So
Okay.
it was for older kids, but it's realistic. They were talking about Herod killing the babies and stuff.
That's pretty intense. For little kids, I know there's the star.
Right.
And I learned so much as a new
Mhm.
Christian because my kids watch in the backseat these videos. What's in the Bible with Buck
Mhm.
Denver? It's so great for little kids. And the information goes deep, but it's such an entertaining
Mhm.
way. I learned a lot from that and they loved it. It's like the
Oh,
Muppets,
nice.
it's
Yeah.
puppet based.
Just making it memorable and entertaining sometimes. Reading from the Bible is good, obviously, but you don't always have to just sit down, everyone, we're going to read. Make it more entertaining, more active for kids that need that.
Yes, you talked about this before we started recording, is that sometimes there is creative license in these
Sure.
stories. And that helps a kid be discerning. Like when you watch The Chosen, and The Chosen does
Sure.
have a children's series, but it's good to know, okay, this is biblically accurate. This they added.
Right.
This is creative license. It's okay to watch things like that. And I think it creates discernment.
It does. And sometimes you have to have something to create a story. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're making a movie, you have to add some things that aren't necessarily details in the Bible to make it a story.
It enhances it because it also makes it more
Sure.
relative to us too. Like, they add some modern
Right.
things in there. But always view before you just show it the first time or read
Yeah.
a review about it if you're
Yeah.
concerned. Those are our ideas for you. We hope that they help. Let me go over the list really quickly again. Find kid friendly church service or experiences in your community. Add some scripture memorization with movement. Search for unique and interesting hands on nativity crafts and do them while you're listening to the story of the nativity and Jesus' birth. Find great videos and movies to watch that will enhance your Christmas experience. And it's a great time too when they need some downtime to be able to add that in. We hope those ideas bless you and help make a more enjoyable Christmas season for you and your kids.
And if you need more support for your learner or implementing any of these ideas that you've heard, you can come on over to the homeschool.com. We have a community with live meetups and office hours with us and a forum where you can DM us anytime. And right now we are running a special for Christmas where we have a gift membership that you can buy for yourself or buy for a friend or tell someone that you love to buy it for you for Christmas. Just go to our site, thehomeschool.com, and there's a little red ribbon at the top that says gift membership.
Yep, you just send that link over to someone you know will get it for you, and we will see you around the well. All right, that wraps it up for today, and we look forward to seeing you next week for a whole new episode and great ideas about how to make December one to remember. Oh,
Love it.
yeah.
All right. See you next time.